Now we're going to talk about cascading style sheets in use with Ajax, and that's a very important topic because it allows you to display your results in an Ajax-enabled page after being downloaded from the server. And there are two techniques that are typically used with Ajax in order to update data in a page. The first is dynamic HTML, and that's an example you've already seen. When I click the display message button, this Ajax-enabled page is going to fetch data behind the scenes from the server and display it in the target div here, which currently holds the text. The fetch data will go here. Click the button, and this text was fetched using Ajax. That's an example of dynamic HTML where you update a display based on text you download from the server. So this is XML HTTP request object dot response text, and we're going to update the inner HTML property of the target div, which is what you see here is the result, and that's one way of updating data in a web page, dynamic HTML. The other way of working with displaying new results fetched by Ajax is to work with CSS, cascading style sheets, is what we're going to be discussing now. Actually, we'll discuss a mix of dynamic HTML and CSS. And you saw an example with the Ajax-enabled menus, where if you let the mouse ride over a particular menu, then behind the scenes, Ajax is fetching the items in that menu and displaying them like this. And this is working with cascading style sheets. Actually, it's a mix. This is a mix of dynamic HTML and cascading style sheets. You frequently see a mix of such things, and this is the way it works. In the show function inside this menus.html example, as you've already seen, you're past the menu to display and the items in that menu. And what happens is you loop over the items in the array that you want to display, and this is the dynamic HTML part. Create a table of the menu items to display, along with giving each of them an on-click JavaScript attribute, and create that table. That is, and creation of the table like that in real time as the user watches is dynamic HTML, and you're going to use a table tag to do that. So that's dynamic HTML part of this example. And then you're going to also display the menu, and that works like this. If target.style.visibility equals hidden, then you can store the new menu, the table representing the new menu, the HTML table representing the new menu, in the inner HTML property of the div element that's going to display the actual menu, and then use the target.style.visibility equals visible. Now, when you see this style attribute, that's a big tip-off that you're working with CSS, cascading style sheets. And here you have target.style.visibility. So you're talking about the style properties when you work with the style property like this, and that has sub-properties such as visibility. You can set the style property to hidden and visible to make an item appear or disappear, and that's important in Ajax-enabled applications because you're often making things appear and disappear in the web page in order to change the content of the web page without a page refresh, and that's what Ajax is all about. So we're going to take a look now at both dynamic HTML to some extent, but mostly CSS, cascading style sheets, and the style property, how to work with a style property, and how CSS integrates into Ajax, and that's going to be coming up next.